Hello everyone, and welcome back into another video. Today we're back in Warframe with yet another weapon showcase, and this time we have the Torid. I am of course talking about the Incarnon form because it does make the weapon completely busted, and yeah, it just is that good. The weapon itself is just a rocket launcher that shoots these bolts that leave an AoE on the ground that will linger. It deals toxin damage, but then it takes your modded damage and your statuses and whatever and applies those onto the enemies. And to charge the Incarnon form, you just have to hit enemies with those explosive bolts, and then the cloud will generate some additional Incarnon charge, and it does look something like this. And then the cloud starts ticking, and we gain Incarnon charge. Additionally, the cloud will regenerate more Incarnon charge even after you transform into the Incarnon form, so if we were to do this, then transform and start shooting, you can see that my ammo keep on replenishing until, there we go, the cloud is no more, and now it will just drain and not go up anymore. Anyways, with that said, let's now jump into the build. Okay, so first of all, if you want to get the most out of this build, you want to invest in a couple of Emerald Archon Shards to reach 40 stacks of Corrosive. That way we can remove all the armor from enemies, and that makes the build work a lot better. The Torid itself, without any of the Incarnon buffs, isn't exactly a great weapon, but after you apply the Incarnon buffs, it does become a little monster. We can see that the weapon now has 30% crit chance with a 2x multiplier and 38% status chance with only Toxin as our main damage type, and that means we don't have that many choices when it comes to building the weapon. The build I'm going to showcase is a newish build because it uses Corrosive and Blast. That way we remove enemies' armor and deal a lot of damage with those blast explosions, and yeah, it is pretty cool. And if you can add any form of grouping to the build, it makes this whole setup a lot better. The mods I'm using are Thermite rounds and Prime Cryo rounds for blast damage. Then I'm using Critical Delay for crit chance, Vital Sense for crit damage. High Voltage combines with the base toxin damage on the weapon to make Corrosive. Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, and on kill gain even more multi-shot. Rifle Elementalist to increase the damage over blast explosions, and Galvanized Aptitude to gain a lot more damage depending on how many statuses are affecting the target. And finally, I'm using Primary Merciless as my arcane of choice because it's quite easy to achieve those few kills and maintain those 12 stacks. The reload speed is also nice because it affects the Incarnon transformation, so it makes it a lot faster. And talking about the Incarnon, these are the choices I went for. They are for me the best, and I think you should go for these because the other options aren't exactly the best. Like this one increases your multi-shot by 3, but only for your last shot in the magazine. On the third evolution, you can gain 50% more projectile speed, or you can go for a longer lasting field for your primary fire, which isn't exactly the best, but it is something. And extended volley is what I went for because it does increase your base magazine by 9, and that makes it easier to deal with the weapon because you don't have to reload that much. Finally, evolution 4, I went for both crit chance and status chance. Both are at 15% because the crit chance one is only 20%, so it's not exactly worth going for. And if we go for the status chance, it does make our status very high, but it does almost kill our crit chance, so I think a mix of the two is the best choice. Let's now spawn some enemies and test the weapon, although I kind of did that at the start of the video, so yeah, here we go. We charge our Incarnon form, we transform the weapon, and then yeah, nothing survives because armor strip and those blast explosions that deal a stupid amount of damage. Let's try again with some buffs now, and yeah, it isn't exactly. It just is this good. It is a monster of a weapon, and yeah, it's really worth using. The Raven disposition is still 4 out of 5, although I expect this to go down, but for now, if you have Ravens, they are insanely good, and I do recommend using them. And this is how the weapon performs without the green Archon Shards, so let's give it a go, and you can see that it is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, the enemies just do not survive the explosions because they deal a stupid amount of damage. I'm going to use the 2 emerald shards for the showcase, so keep that in mind, but as you can see, the weapon is insane and will deal with everything even without the shards, so don't worry too much about it. And that is pretty much the turret. It's a very solid weapon and super strong. The ribbon disposition is very high, which is kinda weird, but good for us. And yeah, I will now leave you guys to the showcase where I test the weapon in a Grenadier Survival in Stealth Path, so you can have a look at what the weapon performs in a more realistic scenario. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Have a great rest of the day, and bye bye.
Humans, what have you learned? It was programmed to beat you.
say that love is blind, but I never trusted sight. When I turn and look inside, there's nothing I can find. In the silence of the night, when my demons come alive, I hear a voice disguised.